Welcome to It's Not What You Think with Morty Levine. In this episode, we get to meet Jeanne, who is 88 years old and has led a beautiful life being of help to others in need. For starters, as a teacher for handicapped children. But that was just the beginning of an incredible life helping others. I'm lucky to have met her and be able to introduce her to you. She's inspiring to say the least. This is episode 30 of It's Not What You Think, recorded in September of 2021. It's available on YouTube and Spotify, so please like, comment, share, or subscribe. That support is enough to continue to allow us to produce this show. Our interviews are with people who may have opinions different from yours or mine, so while we keep an open mind, just remember, it's not what you think. Welcome to the podcast, It's Not What You Think. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Start with your name, your age. These are the easy questions first, and briefly the kind of work you did before you retired.
Okay, my name is Jeanne and I'm 88 years old. After I graduated from college, I went into cancer research and became a statistician for the tumor registry. That was a long time ago when statistics about smoking was the first published report. I helped work on it with Kyler and Howland, so
Wow.
that was just an exciting time. Then I raised four sons. I didn't work then. I didn't work outside the house and outside the home. That was they kept me very busy, but I loved being a mother. They were neat kids. Then I taught school for a while. I taught arts and crafts in a school for handicapped children, and that was I started as a volunteer, and the program went so well that I was hired, which was that's kind of nice. Yeah. That was a very rewarding time. The kids were handicapped in that each one was different. There was cerebral palsy, there was epilepsy, there was autism. There were all kinds of kids, and trying to find things to suit them. And it was a K through 12 school, so it was a real challenge, and I loved every minute of it. I wanted to adopt all the kids. Um, and let's see, then, we moved because my husband was in the service, so we moved around quite a bit. And then I volunteered in schools and did a lot of work with PTA and school committees because my kids were in school, and I thought that was, I wanted to have a little bit of control over what they were doing. So I was on, I think, 13 different committees. Then there was a divorce, and I thought I'm going to have to work and support myself. So I went back to school and got a degree in business and went into accounting and worked in banks. And then I was assistant controller at a 4-star resort in Bodega Bay, in the Bay Area. Yeah. That was wonderful. Lots of perks. Let's see. Then after that, well, while I was working there, I got cancer. I had a stage 4 carcinoma and was given a very slim chance of survival. And they just didn't know me. That's all.
They didn't understand that you knew statistics.
That's right. And when I was a statistician, we were studying survival rates. So that's, yeah, that's kind of an interesting tie-in. But then well, I was alone. All my kids were in different states and everything. So they all decided that I should move near someone to so that I wasn't handling all this by myself. So I moved to Southern California, where one of my sons lives. He's about a mile away, which is very nice.
Mm.
And I asked them at first. I said I want to move near somebody. If I move near you, would you be willing to take care of me if I get sick again? So I said, think it over, and they called back and said yes. So here I am.
Did they call back right away? Did it take a few months before they called? You don't have to answer that question.
No,
I'm going to go to the next question before I get myself in trouble. So, so about how long have you been retired now?
well, that was 20 years ago, and I
Okay.
haven't worked since then. I was able to travel a lot,
Mm.
traveled all over the world. Um, I had a traveling companion. We traveled in 10 years. We made over 50 trips and went, as I said, around the world. The only continent I missed was Australia.
Mm.
Yeah,
How
so
could you miss that? That's kind of a big continent. I don't see how you
I
can miss
know
that.
we just never got around to it. That was
Plane, plane just kind of made a left turn and it's like, oh, we missed Australia again.
I did go to the Cook Islands though,
Okay, wow.
and that's near New Zealand, so it's kind of in that area. And I was able to teach school while I was in the Cook Islands, which is kind of neat. I I was given the kids with learning problems with
Hmm.
dyslexia and things like that, and they're just it, it's hard because the kids want to learn and yet they have difficulties learning, and it takes a lot of patience to teach them, and the teachers don't always have the time. So that was good. I
And
also taught school on the Hopi reservation, which was wonderful. Living on the reservation there, it just is wonderful. The people are at that time were just extremely poor, and um, you just wanted to help them as much as you could.
hmm. So there's a theme running through your life of teaching and helping others less fortunate than you.
Yes, I used to say, if you see a wrong, then try to fix it.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. So, looking back on your life, what are some of the things that you've done that you're either most proud of or have given you great fulfillment?
Raising four sons.
Sure.
um, Really, I can't think of a more important job than raising kids. And they're all good citizens, pay their taxes, they vote, they do all those good things. So I'm proud of them.
I like that they vote. Um, so, what in particular do you look forward to in the next few years?
Living.
Sure.
um, yeah, coping right now. I've been diagnosed with Parkinson's, so I want to get my life in order, and I dread the thought of ever having to be taken care of. I'm fiercely independent, and I just hope I never reach that stage. But since Parkinson's is a slow disease, um, maybe, 5 or 10 years, and I won't be around then. So I've got that left too.
Hmm. Good. Good for you. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in your corner on that. So, what I found fascinating about your background is that you have this combination of, call it hard science or, math, statistics, accounting. And then on the other hand, you have these arts and crafts and teaching, and helping others, of course. And those two, usually you don't see them come together. And then the creativity, I think that's required to be able to help people that are, it's not that they didn't write a book, a manual on, okay, when you're talking with someone who has epilepsy or this or that and the other thing, and you're trying to help them, this is how you do it. It's like you have this ability to
Yeah.
be creative and helpful and think on your feet, be interesting, entertaining, and teaching all at the same time.
Hmm. Well, teaching is like entertaining.
Hmm.
You're on, um, and it's exhausting, but it's also very rewarding.
Hmm. For sure. I think your students were very lucky to have you as a teacher. Okay, so now come the hard questions. We're going to change gears here. I hope you have your seatbelt's on. Your seatbelt is on for the next few questions.
Okay.
So, do you believe in God or a higher being of some, a higher presence of some kind?
Yes. I do not believe in God.
Hmm.
Um, I do believe in what people would call a higher presence, I guess.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm, I'd like to think I'm on a spiritual path. And whoops, where are you?
I'm still here and I can still see you.
Okay, I can't see you. Um, I am on a spiritual path. I'm
Hmm.
studying Buddhism, and that seems to be the thing that I was looking for. Organized religion wasn't what I wanted, and so I looked around and actually after my cancer, my son introduced me to Buddhism, and that seems to be the most fulfilling for me.
Hmm. Yeah, good. I'm glad you found that. So, I know that as I get older, I think about dying much more than when I was younger. Do you think about it at all? Do you live your life differently now, knowing that we're closer to dying?
Um, yes. Short answer, yes. Um, of course I do. Uh, well, one thing that the teachings are about preparing for death. And um, and that's a good thing. I hope to have a good death. I hope to go to Amitabha's Pure Land, or at least um, have another go around at this, get better each time.
Hmm. For
Yes,
sure.
I do. I believe in an afterlife. Yes,
Hmm. Hmm. For sure.
reincarnation, if you will. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So, what's interesting about the Buddhist lineage, and I rarely comment during these interviews, but I'm compelled about the Buddhist lineage and specifically the lineage that you study, which is the Nyingma, is there is a large emphasis on death and dying, not just the last few moments, but throughout life from the very, very beginning.
Right.
It's almost like death is, right over here and it kind of forces you to pay attention throughout your life, regardless of your age. So I think you're very
And it makes
lucky.
you appreciate life more when you know that you could die at any minute. So you better make the most of this moment now. So,
Yeah, for sure. So where do you think you or your spirit or soul will go when you pass on from this life?
Well, I hope to go to a Pure Land,
Hmm.
um, a better place, like some place where I can keep learning. And
Hmm.
I think there are beings to help beings help us now and help us um, in the next life and
Hmm.
teach us to help other people.
Hmm. So that's a good segue to the last question,
Mm.
which is from all of your experience, what advice or how can you help people with your advice, people that are watching this, whether it's your children or anywhere, on how best to live life?
Mm. Well, I used to tell my kids, well, there was the golden rule, and if you can't say anything nice about anybody, don't say anything at all, and always do your best. I had with my kids, I had one handicapped child, and I had another who was genius level, and it's hard for them to get along and understand what the other. We're in the same house, but we're certainly at a different level, and that's difficult trying to make them understand. And the other thing about living life, when I had my cancer, um, I had a long time in treatment, and trying to get through it was difficult. I lived alone, and all my kids were far away. But I had 5 or 6 things that I did every day that helped me. And one was to meditate, or I guess some people would pray, meditate, exercise, laugh. That's very important, to laugh every day. Um, Look at something pretty, do something nice for myself, and do something nice for someone else. Um, and I still do that pretty much. Yep.
Well, your advice is very inspiring to me, and I know it'll be inspiring to people who watch this. I'm sure your sons will be very proud to watch this. So, and as I've said earlier, and it's good to hear this twice. But you're one of my new heroes, very precious. You're one of the precious jewels. So thank you so much for taking the time to share this with others.
Thank you.
Once again, have a good day.
You too.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Jeanne. Please like, comment, share, or subscribe to the It's Not What You Think podcast. That helps us continue to produce the show and invite other guests from around the world. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or would like to hear any specific guests on the show, please share my email, mortylevine@gmail.com, or visit mortylevine.com. Remember, it's not what you think.